The traffic in Jakarta never truly sleeps. Even after midnight, engines hum beneath the glow of streetlights and motorcycles slice through the darkness like restless shadows. But along one particular road, drivers share an unspoken rule. Never slow down inside the Casablanca Tunnel and never look into the rearview mirror, because some who did claim they saw a woman standing behind their car, dressed in white, her face hidden by long black hair, crying softly as if mourning someone who never left the tunnel alive. And the most terrifying part? Witnesses swear she doesn't appear outside the tunnel, only inside, where escape is impossible. In the heart of South Jakarta lies the Casablanca Tunnel, a busy underpass connecting crowded districts filled with malls, offices, and endless traffic. During the day, it feels ordinary, just another shortcut through Jakarta's relentless congestion. But at night, the atmosphere changes. Drivers describe a strange heaviness as they enter. Radios suddenly fill with static. Motorcycles stall without reason. Some feel an overwhelming urge to accelerate, as if something unseen is urging them not to stay. Urban legends surrounding the tunnel began spreading in the early 2000s, passed between taxi drivers, delivery riders, and night shift workers who traveled the road more often than anyone else. They all described the same figure, a woman in white, crying, waiting. Long before the tunnel existed, locals claimed the land carried a tragic history. Older residents said the area had once been a burial ground, relocated quickly during Jakarta's rapid development boom. Construction workers reportedly resisted working night shifts. Some claimed tools moved on their own. Others heard footsteps echoing through unfinished concrete corridors when no one else was present. One laborer allegedly quit after seeing a woman standing at the far end of the tunnel during construction, barefoot, unmoving, her dress stained near the hem. When he approached to ask if she needed help, she disappeared. At the time, supervisors dismissed the incident as exhaustion, but the sightings did not stop after the tunnel opened. They multiplied. One of the most famous stories came from a taxi driver working the midnight route around Jakarta. According to his testimony, he picked up a silent female passenger near the tunnel entrance sometime after 2 a.m. She wore white clothing and kept her head lowered. Her voice, when she spoke, was barely louder than a whisper. "Please go through the tunnel." As they entered, the temperature inside the car reportedly dropped. The driver noticed condensation forming on the windows despite the warm Jakarta night. Halfway through the tunnel, he heard crying, soft at first, then unmistakable. He glanced into the rearview mirror. The passenger's face was hidden behind strands of wet hair, her shoulders trembling as she sobbed. Panicked, he asked if she was okay. No response, only crying. When the taxi exited the tunnel and reached a streetlight, the sound suddenly stopped. The back seat was empty, the door had never opened. After the taxi driver shared his story with fellow drivers, similar experiences surfaced. Some motorcyclists claimed a woman suddenly appeared riding behind them, only visible through mirrors. Others reported seeing a figure standing against the tunnel wall before vanishing as they approached. Security patrols even received complaints from drivers who insisted someone was wandering dangerously inside the tunnel, yet CCTV footage showed nothing unusual. What made the stories unsettling was their consistency. Every witness described the same details: white clothing, long black hair covering the face, soft crying sounds, appearance only within the tunnel's boundaries. Some drivers began honking continuously while passing through, believing noise could ward off spirits. Others recited prayers before entering. A few refused to use the tunnel at night entirely. One motorbike courier's account became widely shared online. Riding home after a late delivery, he entered the tunnel just past midnight. Moments later, he felt extra weight pressing against the back of his motorcycle, as if someone had climbed onto the seat behind him. His mirrors reflected nothing clearly, only darkness distorted by tunnel lights. Then he heard breathing, right behind his ear. He remembered the warnings told by older drivers. Whatever happens, do not look back. So he kept driving, heart racing, eyes fixed forward. The wait remained until he exited the tunnel. The moment he crossed into open air, the pressure vanished instantly. When he finally stopped and turned around, the seat behind him was wet, as if someone had been sitting there in the rain. But the road was completely dry. A legend that refuses to fade. Today, the weeping woman of the Casablanca Tunnel has become one of Jakarta's most persistent urban legends. Social media videos, late-night podcasts, and paranormal investigators continue to debate whether the sightings are psychological, supernatural, or something born from collective fear. Yet despite skepticism, drivers still share quiet rituals before entering. Some lower their windows slightly, some whisper prayers, and almost everyone agrees on one rule: never stop inside the tunnel. Because according to those who claim to know the story best, she is not searching for victims, she is searching for someone who never made it out. For years, the stories surrounding the Casablanca Tunnel were treated as nothing more than urban legend. Frightening tales shared to keep drivers awake during long midnight rides. Until one incident changed how people saw the tunnel forever. In 2017, a night security officer assigned to monitor traffic flow near the tunnel reportedly filed an unusual internal report. Unlike ghost stories passed between drivers, this account came from someone trained to observe calmly under pressure. His shift began at midnight. The tunnel was unusually quiet, traffic thinning after heavy rain earlier that evening. Water dripped steadily from the concrete ceiling, echoing like distant footsteps. Around 1:43 a.m., he noticed a figure standing near the emergency walkway inside the tunnel. At first, he assumed it was a stranded pedestrian, something extremely dangerous in such a busy roadway. Through the surveillance monitor, he saw what appeared to be a woman wearing white clothing. Her head was lowered. She wasn't moving. Protocol required him to investigate immediately. The officer entered the tunnel on foot, flashlight in hand. Passing cars rushed by, their headlights briefly illuminating the walls before plunging everything back into shadow. As he approached, something felt wrong. The air grew colder. The sound of engines seemed distant, muffled, as if the tunnel itself was swallowing noise. He called out, "Miss, you can't stand here, it's dangerous." No response, only the faint sound of crying, soft, broken. The closer he walked, the clearer it became. The woman's shoulders shook gently, her hair hanging forward, hiding her face completely. He stopped a few meters away. "Are you hurt?" The crying stopped instantly. Silence filled the tunnel. Then slowly the woman tilted her head, not lifting it fully, just enough to reveal strands of hair separating slightly. The officer later claimed he felt an overwhelming dread, the kind that makes the body freeze before the mind understands why. Because beneath the hair, there was no visible face, only darkness. His flashlight flickered. Cars passing behind him suddenly began honking loudly, drivers swerving as if avoiding something unseen. The officer stepped back. The woman moved, not walking, not turning. She simply appeared closer, impossibly closer, without making a sound. The crying resumed, louder now, echoing unnaturally through the tunnel walls. He turned to run toward the exit. Behind him, footsteps followed, bare feet slapping against wet concrete. Closer, closer. He later said he felt breath on the back of his neck just before reaching the tunnel's end. Then, everything stopped. The sounds vanished. When he turned around, the tunnel was empty. Shaken, the officer returned to the control room and reviewed CCTV footage, expecting confirmation of what he had seen. But the recording showed something impossible. The cameras captured him walking alone, talking to empty air, backing away in panic from nothing visible. Yet one detail disturbed investigators. At several moments, the video audio recorded faint crying, despite no figure appearing on screen. The officer requested reassignment shortly afterward and reportedly refused to speak publicly again. After the incident spread quietly among workers, older locals shared a darker explanation. Decades earlier, before modernization transformed the area, a fatal accident allegedly occurred near the same location. A young woman searching for her fiancé, a construction worker, was struck by a vehicle during heavy rain. Some versions claim she died instantly. Others say she survived long enough to cry for help inside the unfinished underpass, but no one came in time. According to the legend, she still waits in the tunnel, replaying her final moments, searching for the person she was meant to meet. One paranormal research group attempted an overnight investigation years later. Cameras, audio recorders, and motion sensors were placed along the tunnel during authorized maintenance hours. For hours, nothing happened, until just before dawn. Their audio recorder captured clear sobbing. Then a woman's voice whispering in Indonesian, "Why did you leave me?" Moments later, every device shut down simultaneously, batteries fully drained. When power returned, one camera contained a single corrupted frame, a pale silhouette standing directly behind the investigators. None of them remembered anyone standing there. Ending twist. The rule everyone follows. Today, thousands of vehicles pass through the Casablanca Tunnel every night. Most drivers experience nothing unusual, but those who travel regularly still follow unwritten rules. Do not stop. Do not answer if someone knocks on your window, and most importantly, do not pick up passengers near the tunnel after midnight, because several ride-hailing drivers have reported accepting late-night bookings originating inside the tunnel requests made from accounts that disappear immediately afterward. No passenger is ever found waiting, yet sometimes, after accepting the ride, drivers hear crying through their back speakers, even when the seat behind them is empty. And according to whispered stories among Jakarta drivers, the destination listed on those rides is always the same: back through the tunnel, where the weeping woman is still waiting, hoping that this time someone will finally take her out.